Hello YouTube, how's everything going? I'm doing pretty good today. Now before I get started, I do not see this as being a big story, though I have plenty to say. My concern with it surrounds much larger ideas. Because I support the right to piss off multiple groups of people in one setting, conserving energy and all, I will say this off the top. People have a right to be foolish in public even at the expense of a group they belong. Keyword being right. What is deemed foolish or funny depends on the person. We will not all agree, nor is a consensus necessary. Now, it is said that most successful comedy should have a heavy reliance upon truth. The more truth in a situation, the more effective will be the quip satirizing it. One problem is people can take any art or questionable art, equate it to truth, which is distilled into generalizations. Historical record, look at the Romans, or even monarchies of Europe like the Kingdom of Belgium, the Principality of Monaco, or the State of Vatican City, and observe some of the political intrigue which permeated the court and the church. It can be effectively argued that generalizations are the quickest and most effective route to muster supportive public opinion. And here's the rub. For the manipulative, it will be a tool of great use. And for the dull, it can be likened to poisonous bite-sized morsels that conceals, deceives, and incites the mobilizing for support from the masses. Now, I get it, I really do. When you do comedy, you are bound to offend someone. It comes with the territory. I also get being a part of a historically oppressed group that still faces great image hardships can be like walking a tightrope. For the sake of simplicity, let's limit our range to 3 groups. You have those who see the danger of the activity and anxiously awaits what will happen. Another group that exists cheers for a positive outcome. The last group morbidly awaits one to fall. Upon closer examination, a subset of this group will have a distaste for the existence of a safety net. Sometimes I have equated American black descendants of slaves as the official funambulist of the world. Now, some of the things I hate most about living in a politically correct world is it requires uglies to be shelved in the closet. In order to be a good citizen, you are required to camouflage the hatred of individuals and of life with a clamorously declared love of humanity. This said, maybe we can envision how we are conditioned to be more sensitive. Some may say hypersensitive about certain visual representations to the world. Okay, I get this. For in reality, some people, like I, are rightfully concerned about the deception of the world at our expense. A growing number of blacks finally are motivated to fight the media. We have allowed the raunch and violence of gangster rap to be more than a representation of a day in the life of a certain group of individuals. It became a thick, very thick coating of cognitive distortions that aggressively covers blacks. Unfortunately, it obstructs recognition of those who disagree with that lifestyle. If this is not enough, let's not forget the antics of the professional black athlete. He has become the rude and vulgar fool. His presence is also a sore reminder for some, that they are complicit in his dance for the spotlight. How? Well, by not showing disapproval. By not showing disapproval, you are giving consent. By not ostracizing the likes of a Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, or Charles Barkley, to name a few. They have allowed the show to continue. Now, I am not saying any individual should live for the group. No, they should not. But they should understand how certain actions can give more ammunition to those who wish us to fall off the tightrope. Unfortunately, many that entertain for a living have the ear of the general public. It is unfortunate because we have some obtuse, egocentric, slimy people that lack orderly continuity with reality. This provides countless opportunities missed to bring a positive change. Yet, this is not their focus, and it is their right not to serve in this manner. Now, let's quickly shift to the likes of Leslie Jones, a comedian who pushed the boundaries of her art, some may say questionable talent, only in my opinion, while pushing, willingly finding herself jumping into the deep end of the pool. Within these waters, she is drowning with some, in the eyesight of some, and others see her as being a distinguished woman of strength. First, though gender is relevant to the joke, I do not see it as significant to questionable comedic license, so I will not pertain to it. A sample of comments that either concerned or inflamed some others are these. Look at the screen. There you go. Read that. Think about it. Now I'm going to put on the screen for you her words that she had when she decided that the black lash, not back, but black lash she received was inappropriate. Look at your screen now. There you go. Now, some would equate her performance to the use of satire. I saw no witty use of language. I am unmoved if she selected this vehicle to hide behind the mask of comedy, hiding as the suffering artist that may be struggling with her flat dating life. We know how black women's bodies were used during slavery. Please, no one tell me her jokes provides motivation to look deeper. A modern black woman that is not suffering in this manner cannot bridge a gap of her own experiences into the larger American narrative. Yeah, I get that she may be addressing why it would take a horrific institution like slavery for her attributes to be valued. The implication of this is an ugly truth if you are considering the European standard of beauty, among other issues. This said, I think the real question is the actual cost of her humor. The other questions that surface in my mind is how to create a balance. How can the group, even one with such a complex history as Black Americans, be fair to the aspirations of the individual, to the rights of the individual's freedom of expression? How do we go about determining if the expectations of the group is valid? Lastly, if a compromise or yielding should be considered. The thespian. The thespian world proves that part of its reward is being able to select from a wide range of humanity. From that pool, one can select dramatic characters that they may wish to interpret. I would reason part of the richness in the field of comedy is not being reverent of anything and considering nothing to be a sacred cow. So one's interpretations of reality are not shackled. Pun intended. I do think there is no such thing as a sacred cow. However, being unreasonably immune to criticism should not be conflated with comprehension of reality and how one's actions can contribute to undesirable results. One of the great setbacks of social media is also one of its greatest attributes. We can show what we think and feel. The public can then shop the market of ideas and decide what is best for them, what speaks to them. Depending on the degree of our self-importance, will determine the potential this reality has for inflaming sensibilities and inappropriate behavior. Being social creatures that are no longer directed by the professional critic, we should exercise our ability to show outrage, to show approval. We should also be mature enough to know others will see the world differently. What I do not fancy are those that try to downplay the significance of this conversation that we're having now with such tripe as we are placing an erroneously high valuation of the validity of our opinions. Well, when it comes to the business side of performance, the public investment is key, whether that be the enthusiasm for the product and later with the consumer's direction of their purchasing power is what matters to the businessman, to the businesswoman. So let's not be tempted to go down this road. No easy answers exist when it comes to evaluating artful expression. If anything, like many before her, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, George Carlin, Don Rickles, Bill Hicks, Lewis Black, Flip Wilson, and Bernie Mac have shown us we will always be challenged by the imagination and talent of the individual. Thank you for listening.